Hi, Professor Blum and marketing class. Outlined in this presentation will be Team 3's approach to this project. Here we have the executive summary, which lays out our agenda for the strategic marketing plan for Rayovac with the analysis and the overall recommendation. Established in 1906, officially becoming Rayovac in the 1930s, its focus was on specialty batteries for use in devices like its own patented vacuum tube hearing aids. It quickly grew with the popularity and increased demand for newly invented flashlights and non-traditional batteries. Rayovac became a player in the competitive household battery market through key acquisitions and by capitalizing on existing distributor and retailer relationships, but only after Duracell and Energizer were already firmly established. In the early 2000s, Rayovac acquired other consumer brand companies ranging from Remington Products, specializing in shaving and grooming products, to United Industries Corp., a manufacturer of consumer lawn care and insect control products. This was key as it allowed Rayovac to gain access to a number of new retailers like Home Depot, previously unable to gain shelf space. The synergies gained did not necessarily favor one segment, like alkalines or grooming products, but did provide negotiating strength for the bundle of Spectrum products to compete within its given markets. By 2005, Rayovac was the third largest consumer battery manufacturer and marketer in the world, selling a product lineup including specialized and common alkaline batteries in all sizes to compete in the highly saturated but lucrative household market, available in over 1 million stores worldwide. Rayovac positioned itself as the value brand compared to its key premium brand competitors, Duracell and Energizer. To gain share in the battery market, Rayovac lowered its selling price per quality battery to target frugal shoppers. The firm was looking for a new way to capture more of the market from the leaders without going head-to-head against them. Duracell, introducing their alkaline battery in 1964 and marketing towards the mass consumer, was acquired by the Gillette Company in 1996 and then in 2005 by P&G. By 2005, Duracell held a 39% worldwide market share and 35% Canadian market share. Energizer was the first to introduce alkaline battery technology to the world in 1957 and quickly established their iconic Energizer Bunny. Many of Energizer's market acquisitions led them to hold the same market share as Duracell by that time, which was 39% worldwide and 35% Canadian market share. Other competitors like Panasonic, Sony, and Kodak tried to enter the battery business, but couldn't gain a significant share of the battery market despite their size, strength, and brand recognition in other markets.
Thank you, Brandon. Duracell and Energizers are two biggest competitors for Rayovac. So in order for Rayovac to stay competitive, it needs to invest in something that these two competitors have not expressed a huge interest in, which is the rechargeable battery market. So the present goal is to obtain a significant portion in rechargeable battery segment in North America. It is very important for Rayovac to gain control in the US market, since the Canadian market often mirrors that of the US. The Americans are known to be a slow adapter for rechargeable battery, so we suggest Rayovac to have an effective marketing strategy to educate Americans to see the value of rechargeable technology. Now I will hand it over to Alejandro to talk about marketing share comparison.
The rechargeable battery market in Canada is projected to grow over the next 5 years, reaching $100 million in 2010. There are two strategies Rayovac could pursue. The volume strategy, where they would work with mass merchandisers to expand sales of their rechargeable battery products, and the niche strategy, where they would work with specialty retailers but limit their penetration of the market. In the second table, we can see that going with the volume strategy would result in a 5% increase in market share per year, while going with the niche strategy would mean Rayovac would only capture 20% share of the market in each of the next 5 years. The third table shows how that market share translates into dollars. In the next slide, we will examine contribution margins for each of these strategies. The contribution margin is calculated as net sales minus the variable cost of production. Since mass merchandisers compete on price and regularly implement discounts, the volume strategy yields a 40% contribution margin compared to a 60% contribution margin for the niche strategy. Assuming the expected market share that we discussed in the previous slide, we can see the impact of choosing the volume strategy and of choosing the niche strategy to the profit contribution of rechargeable battery products over the next 5 years. However, each of these strategies has a different advertising and promotional costs associated with them. Let's look at those in the next slide. To implement a volume strategy is costlier than implementing a niche strategy. The volume strategy would result in higher costs because of the number of retailers that would be involved and their demands for increased advertising support on a newer line of products. Rayovac wants to increase sales while keeping costs down. Choosing the volume strategy would increase Rayovac's advertising and promotion costs over the next 5 years. While they would also achieve higher sales and profits from the rechargeable battery market, a higher percentage of their contribution margin would go to advertising and promotional costs if they went with the volume strategy as opposed to the niche strategy. Given that they are highly leveraged, Rayovac should strive to keep their costs down. In the next slide, we'll see which strategy we will choose. In this graph, we can see the impact of the advertising and promotional costs on the profit calculation. In the short term, the niche strategy is the best option as it will yield higher profits. However, after 2008, the volume strategy seems like it would yield higher profits and be the more successful strategy. Over the 5-year horizon, the volume strategy would result in nearly $8.8 million more in profits than the niche strategy. However, we choose to go with the niche strategy. While the volume strategy would contribute more dollars of profit to Rayovac, each additional sale of a rechargeable battery could result in lost future sales of 200 to 500 units of one-time use batteries. At profits of 50 cents per one-time use battery, each additional rechargeable battery sold represents $100 to $250 of lost future profit. In 2003, General Batteries represented nearly 50% of total sales for Rayovac, while rechargeable battery sales only represented 10% of sales. While it seems a volume strategy would produce better returns, even with a lower contribution margin, it would actually cannibalize the sales of one-time use batteries. The additional volume of rechargeable batteries sold by going with the volume strategy could represent anywhere from $440 million to $1.1 billion in lost future profits. As such, we're choosing the niche strategy as a viable alternative that increases profits but does not drastically impact the company's future sales. Next, Ryan will discuss the competition.
Hi there. So speaking of competitors, the highly competitive battery market leaves Rayovac with little room for error. So any wrong step the company takes could lead them to becoming obsolete in the face of top competitors, Duracell and Energizer. So our proposed strategy, however, capitalizes on the unique advantage Rayovac owns in the space. So the two leaders in the battery market have too much to lose with their currently profitable focus on alkaline batteries. The strategy we propose would allow Rayovac to gain ground against the competition. Energizer and Duracell's current offerings of rechargeable batteries are very limited, and the sales they do make on rechargeable batteries is not enough against their sales of alkaline batteries that make them more money. So like Alejandro said, for every rechargeable battery sold, they make around $2 in profit. However, consumers buying these rechargeable products means Duracell and Energizer miss out on the profits made from the 200 to 500 alkaline batteries at 50 cents each. So in this sense, Rayovac has a competitive edge. However, this plan might also have the potential to create competition from companies that weren't a threat before. So Panasonic, Sanyo and Sony could use Rayovac's need to source the products from them to their advantage. They could use this entrance into the rechargeable market as a stepping stone for them to take over. So that's definitely something to consider here. Next up, we have Nicole with opportunities and risks.
Thank you, Ryan. There are opportunities and risks associated with focusing on the North American rechargeable battery market, as well as choosing a niche strategy. Important things to keep in mind are the market attractiveness, the industry Rayovac is competing in, and are the right resources in place within the company to achieve success. Looking at the market, there is growth and opportunity for sales and better margins. Niche strategy would save money on advertising and allows Rayovac to be first to market and increase their brand awareness. The competition for rechargeables is much smaller than for one-time use, and increasing in rechargeables may help Rayovac achieve its goal of increasing in the large battery industry. There are risks with niche strategy, such as lower distribution and volume of sales because smaller niche retailers just can't carry as much as big mass merchandisers, and they also have less stores. The mass merchandisers have yet to carry rechargeable batteries in huge quantities, and though there aren't many direct competitors to Rayovac right now, as the market grows and looks more attractive, they may face threat from new entrants. In the next slide, we'll go over the opportunity matrix. It can help us see events that may impact the firm, and since Rayovac is considering a new strategy and market, there are 4 examples of things that we could think about happening to Rayovac as they use the niche strategy to increase their presence in the rechargeable battery market. The greatest threat to Rayovac is that the rechargeable market they are pushing and creating will look attractive to other smaller battery companies wanting to have a larger presence. There is always a threat, too, that the large competitors such as Duracell or Energizer may see the potential and try to enter. Rayovac also has to consider who they are selling to with this niche strategy and ensure that that group will continue to grow and be engaged with the product. And lastly, Rayovac does not manufacture their rechargeable batteries, so they must maintain good relations with suppliers. Now, Tatiana will go in depth with the SWOT analysis.
Thank you, Nicole. So in order to arrive at our strategy, we first look at the SWOT analysis. As for the strengths, so the major strengths of a Rayovac is that it's a leader in the rechargeable battery sector outside of North America. The strength of the company also lies in their positioning as a value brand. And with recent acquisitions, Rayovac is now able to extend the access to new retailers such as Rona and Home Depot. As for the opportunities, there is an opportunity for Rayovac in the rechargeable sector, since there is no dominant market leader in the rechargeable battery sector. However, the company does have some weaknesses. Rayovac entered the household battery market long after premium brands were already established on the market, and in order to differentiate, the company had to target the value-conscious price shoppers by offering high-quality products for lower prices, and offering this and spending the same amount on manufacturing processes but charging lower prices, the company makes lower profits. As for the threats, we single out 3 main threats. One of them is the US consumers that are reluctant to purchase rechargeable products due to lack of convenience, high prices of rechargeable batteries, and consumer lack knowledge of new technology and its benefits. The second threat comes from the premium brands, where there is a possibility of market leaders to react to the push into rechargeable market. The third threat may come from the international partners. Rayovac outsources the manufacturing of rechargeable batteries to international partners, and these international partners may try to capitalize on the growth opportunity in the new market. And after looking at the SWOT analysis, we're able to answer the question as to whether to focus on niche strategy or not by looking at the Porter's 5 forces. So the threat of new entry. The threat of new entry is low due to competitive nature of the battery market, where manufacturers compete for limited shelf space and consumer acceptance. The threat of substitution is pretty high, since 2 major battery companies, Duracell and Energizer, also offer rechargeable battery products, and they continue to dominate the battery industry due to their brand recognition. And since North American consumers tend to gravitate toward the brand names that they know and trust. As for the supplier power, the overall market is dominated by the major companies such as Duracell and Energizer due to their established relationship with distributors and retailers. However, the majority of rechargeable batteries are sold through niche retailers, and it is projected that they would account for the majority of rechargeable battery sales. As for the buyer power, the rechargeable batteries are more likely to be purchased by heavy user consumers such as techies. The heavy user segment represents a small number of buyers, and therefore they would not exert high pressures on the company. Finally, competitive rivalry. The overall battery market is very competitive. However, the rivalry within the rechargeable segment is low, since the major competitors do not promote the product line and do not have core competencies in rechargeable battery manufacturing. And this low rivalry can bring Rayovac strength and healthy profits. And overall, by looking at all 5 forces, we concluded that the rechargeable battery segment is an attractive market segment that Rayovac should pursue. And now Sichu will discuss the future goals.
Thank you. So all of my colleagues have been talking about the best strategy to meet the present goal. Now I will talk about 2 future goals for Rayovac to sustain a positive growth in business. The first goal is global expansion. After establishing a good brand image in North America, we think it's very reasonable for Rayovac to expand to other countries, such as countries in Asia like China or Korea, to generate more revenues. The second goal, which I think would be the ultimate goal for Rayovac, is to become a market leader in the battery market. And to achieve this, Rayovac needs good growth strategy and branding, effective marketing tools, and efficient business development. Now we'll hand it over to Brandon to talk about marketing and promotional tactics.
The marketing materials should be developed to increase overall awareness of rechargeable batteries to the niche market of value-conscious price shoppers, focusing on heavy users, especially techies. There should be several different creative messages that target high-usage consumers looking for high-value, low-cost batteries, and messages specifically tailored for techies' interests. This will ensure sub-niches are targeted individually and provide creative rotation to avoid consumer ad fatigue. Since rechargeable batteries are commonly sold in high-drain electronic stores, Rayovac can place ads and promotions on technology and distributor websites. They can also partner with companies producing high-drain electronics to provide consumer discounts if their products are purchased together. As the rest of the world follows Europe, being more environmentally conscious, the promotional materials can play heavily on long-term affordability of the product and its positive effect on the environment, since rechargeable batteries produce less waste and are less toxic. In conclusion, Rayovac should pursue the rechargeable market, focusing on heavy user segmentation, targeting the niche consumers. Positioning itself as the leader in the rechargeable batteries industry with the focus on niche channel distribution to the heavy user techies. By encouraging the use of rechargeable batteries, this would positively impact the ongoing costs of using other products in the Rayovac and Spectrum product lines that use batteries, including the consumer shaving, grooming, lawn, and garden care products that need batteries. Rayovac has an excellent opportunity to establish itself as the leader in the market for rechargeable batteries, which it can push as the way of the future. All high-value technological devices today, like cell phones, computers, and tablets, have rechargeable batteries. Positioning Rayovac as the #1 rechargeable battery company would help differentiate itself from its major competition, steal sales from competitors' non-rechargeable batteries, further increase their value proposition by developing even greater performance batteries while building Rayovac's value as a future-focused, environmentally friendly, high-quality brand. Thank you.